What?
Hi.
Dude, the worst. So anyway,
Hold on, we're not ready yet.
well, what do you mean we're not ready yet? We're live.
Yeah.
There's no going back now. Like, it is what it is.
I'm
Leave
not
that alone.
You don't want to play it? So then we're not going to have an intro.
So you want to redo the intro and then come back on?
Yes.
Oh
For the podcast. Sorry,
Okay.
guys.
Podcast is for entertainment purposes only. Although I am a licensed clinician, I'm also just a person. I love to be able to be in my real life and speak from that point. And that's where this podcast is coming from. So enjoy.
Searching for truth, looking for answers. There must be a way to another day.
Hello,
Hi.
everyone. Happy Sunday.
Welcome to Convenient Truth, episode 73.
Episode 73. Wow. We're getting to 100. It's been a while, but I mean, I'm excited now.
Yeah.
I'm on a roll.
You are on a roll.
I know I am. It's just a whole new version of me, you know? You underestimate me. You don't believe me when I tell you. When I'm on a mission, I'm on a mission.
You realize you probably need somebody to underestimate you? And I don't underestimate you, but like I think I don't know, whatever. You feel that way, so then that motivates you.
Yeah, I think it's the like competitive part of me or something.
Yeah.
It comes in handy.
It always, you know where it comes out to a lot lately is like this whole dog thing, this whole dog training thing. It's like I literally took our old dog, Euro, from this fat piece of shit, losing hair, probably about to die.
Oh my God.
And I turned his life around and extended his life for at least another 5 years.
First of all,
I get no credit for that, right?
the fact that you just called him a piece of shit.
He was a fat, losing his hair. All right, not a piece of shit.
That was really rough. You better apologize to him up there.
He knows what happened. He knows he needed some work.
He was not a piece of shit. He was a
He was a
dog.
good dog.
He died in front of in front of me several times and came back to life.
Because he was so
I mean, it was amazing.
on the edge of dying when I came into your life.
Crazy.
Anyways, that whole point is that I came in and turned him around, extended his life. I get no credit for that, right? But then you come in, you take this dog that you hated for the first month, and then now it's like, oh, look what I did. I'm so great.
everything I'm doing.
I trained this dog.
Everything that I'm doing.
I'm like,
This
yes,
dog
cool,
is perfect
great, but,
because
you know,
of me and my training. And actually, although you did
I allowed
help
you
with
to train.
Euro's weight and you helped with all those things, let's be honest. Who did Euro listen to the most? Me. Who does Cash listen to the most? Me.
because you're a control freak.
What? Take that back. I've actually been working on my control stuff quite a lot. I've really been going with the flow. It's my intention.
Well, whatever you want to call it.
You just have nothing to say because you have nothing to fucking say. See? There you go. Anywho, so today I really what's this music that I'm hearing?
Same music we've been having on for the past 4 episodes.
It's extra loud right now. Can you lower it?
Same volume it's always been.
Oh, yeah, that's so much better. So anyway, what I really want to talk about a little bit today is, so about maybe like a few days ago, I pop open Instagram and I saw that Eminem had endorsed Kamala Harris. Now again, disclaimer, I don't give a shit about who the fuck wins, okay? But I'm trying to make a point here. So I saw Eminem endorsed Kamala, right? And he was talking about how, I'm going to botch his words, but he said something like, he feels that Kamala could really bring us into a place where, where we're able to like just have like, freedom of speech and like speak openly about things and all this stuff. And I was like, openly about things, like freedom of speech? Wait a minute. I'm confused.
He's the one that used to make songs about the FCC censoring.
I listened to his music ever since "Bitch I'ma Kill You" came out. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I've heard all the things that he has said and rapped about, and so I'm so confused that that's what he's saying right now. Because I'm like, you've complained about being censored. You've complained about all this what do they call it? All this not woke stuff, but oh my God.
Censorship?
Yeah, just all the censorship and all of that. Oh, being canceled. You've complained about all those things. And so you're backing Kamala. Okay. The other thing that also I heard when I was watching was when Kamala was talking about how now she thinks that weed, no one should go to jail for that. I'm still confused. For weed.
For weed. Oh, yeah.
I'm confused because, correct me if I'm wrong, and maybe I need to do a fact check. I don't know. But I could have sworn that when she was governor or something,
prosecutor,
she was something
California.
Okay, that she was responsible so much for people being arrested,
imprisoning people specifically
for
cannabis that are still in jail now.
So this is my point. My point is, I don't care again about Kamala or Trump. What I care about though is feeling like I'm being gaslit. So like, don't make me feel crazy. Like, don't make me feel like I basically have just been abused and my abuser is in my face telling me that, like, no, everything's okay. Everything's amazing. I never did that to you. And I'm like, wait, what? Maybe he's right. Like, don't make me feel insane because I'm pretty sure that happened. And now I hear you openly as though weed was never an issue. Now, I wouldn't mind if she came out and she was like, look, I've been been responsible for, a lot of people going to jail for marijuana. I now see that maybe that wasn't the right move,
Right.
I take responsibility for that. Now I'm moving forward. I'd be like, okay, I totally respect that now, right? But to go and act like that's always been your fucking thought from jump, I'm like, wait, what? Like, I'm so confused. And then for even Eminem to go on there and be like, oh, Kamala. And I'm like, bitch, can we rewind and go back to all the things that you've said about censorship and everything and about all this shit and about the gay community and everything? Let's go back and rewind all those fucking songs and all those tapes. And now you're on the stage endorsing Kamala. I'm just so confused about everything. And I feel crazy. I wouldn't feel crazy if people just weren't hypocrites and just said what they fucking like who they are, what they did, what they own it, take responsibility for it and move on. I'd be like, no big fucking deal. You know what I'm saying? Even with Trump. Like if Trump was to be like, yeah, I grabbed that girl's titty, I'd be like, man, that's fucked up. But like he took accountability, people just like do not take accountability. And I feel like if anyone is going to run the United States of America, then I feel like it needs to be people who could hold themselves accountable and like take responsibility and be like, yeah, you know what? I was wrong. I fucked up. You know what? Yeah, that wasn't the best move. Like, okay, cool. You're a person. Wonderful.
Right. I mean, for a lot of people, especially in politics, that's like a scary thing to do because like, they can't be different. They have to stay consistent throughout their career or whatever. But in actuality, like humans, normal people actually appreciate what you're saying. If somebody does come out, yes, it's like a vulnerable moment and maybe your career is going to end, but at least you're like letting it off your shoulder. You're actually saying the truth of like what happened, right? And none of that is really happening from Kamala.
Trump does the same shit. Let's not be crazy.
Yeah, he's always he's the same.
Either one of them. But I do want to go back for a second to Bill Clinton.
Okay. Okay.
Now, again, I was very young at that time. I don't even know how old I was, but I know that I was at the age where I really didn't give a shit about politics.
Oh, he
even
still
more
hasn't.
so
He
than.
still hasn't apologized. Or
No,
like,
but didn't
no.
he, when that happened, didn't he own the fact that he had an affair with her?
No, he didn't. I didn't have relations.
Oh,
Sexual
damn, Bill. I was
relations.
about to give you some credit, and then you just.
No.
I thought he did. I thought he was like, yeah, I did it.
He never said that. Never.
So till this day, Monica Lewinsky is still looking like she's crazy?
She got paid, and everybody was cool with it.
Damn. I'm sick of this shit. I don't know why people are. I'm like, I don't know why anyone thinks that all this shit is okay. Like, to me, this is all crazy stuff. Everyone's a fucking liar in the political world. I don't trust any one of them. Period. Done. And scene.
Well, a lot of it too. Also, when you're talking about like Eminem and like the censorship, it's not necessarily the president of the United States, but it could be appointees. I don't know. But you're talking about like what is known is the FBI and the CIA were involved and still are in backdoor shenanigans with all these different platforms, Facebook and it used to be Twitter, not anymore, and also all the networks as well. That's been going on forever, and it's proven. They've already proven it. So, but a lot of people don't understand or know that it's been proven that the FBI was in cahoots with Twitter, and they were purposefully censoring things. So maybe Eminem doesn't associate that with Kamala.
Okay.
Or Joe Biden.
Because in his mind, he's like, it's above.
Maybe he doesn't even know that they determined through, they call it the Twitter files that Elon Musk released when he took over Twitter, all the communications between the FBI and Twitter, and how FBI was telling
what's
them
funny though? Do you realize that when you actually do say that to like, I don't know,
what?
for like, oh, hey, Elon Musk actually released
if he did anything, as soon as
like,
you say Elon Musk did something, they're like, fuck you.
People just like disregard it as though, but I'm like, but that's fact, because I could pull it up for you and read it now.
Right.
But
these are the communications. Here they are. I can print them out
like,
and send them to
people. People are like, no, they fixed it. It's AI did it. It's like every excuse. And I'm
crazy.
like, yo, it's wild how like people just believe what they want to believe. Bottom line.
I mean, I don't want to go down this avenue very deeply, but it is interesting that P. Diddy gets arrested. Right.
This is a conspiracy. It's a conspiracy theory right now.
Well, it's a logical thought too.
Some people probably wouldn't say that, but I hear you.
Okay, P. Diddy gets arrested, right? Like how many months ago? A couple months ago, right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, all these celebrities start endorsing a certain candidate, right? Which is maybe the candidate that might not release certain documents that P. Diddy has.
I mean, I'll take another route, though, in terms of that. I just feel like regarding the whole P. Diddy thing, I feel like it's very suspect. The moment he got arrested and went to jail, what happened actually the next day or 2 days later? All of the CEOs from all these big companies, Nike, right? All of a sudden, it was a rush, and they all were like, they all resigned, right? They all fucking resigned, right? Then after that, I have not heard any celebrity in the R&B or hip hop industry really actually on social media or in the news say anything to denying anything. Not one person.
They were all at the parties.
Exactly. So again, do I believe that they were all involved? No. But do I believe that they all saw a lot of shit and stayed, hush is the word, and didn't say anything to the guilty by association? Abso-fucking-lutely.
Well, what these people are, I believe, are afraid of is an Epstein flight list. Right? That's what they don't want to be on any kind of thing where you were on some list of a party that you went to when
Kim
things went
Kardashian
down.
does not want to be on that list.
Right. So they find the candidate that will not release that list. and give her a bunch of money and see what happens.
I think it's all very possible.
Well, we may never know.
I
don't know.
Another thing too, like there are conspiracies that I hear that I feel like are really like, right? Like I'm like, that's really far from me.
Those are usually the most truest ones.
I know, but like I hear those and I'm like, whoa. Fiction. But then there's some conspiracies I hear that I'm like, why would people not think that this was a possibility?
Right. And we're talking about millions of dollars and billions in some
of it.
cases,
yeah,
right?
I mean, like
this is like basically people can pay whoever to do whatever. You're at like that level.
You're at that level.
Like the craziest level. Like you could think of how much, I mean, what would somebody do for like $100 million? You could probably get a lot of people to do some crazy people to do some crazy shit that you would never think anybody would ever fucking do.
Totally.
Probably. You know?
Squid Games. Point to Squid Games.
Yeah. Some kid sitting on top of a roof trying to shoot at Trump. I don't know how much money he might have gotten. I don't know. I don't know.
That's another thing that's crazy, guys. Again, it's like, how come, and again, I don't watch the news a lot, but actually at all, really, but through even just the media outlets that I run through, I could have sworn a former president of the United States had an assassination attempted on him twice.
We talked about this before.
But no, I still don't hear anyone. No one's talked. No one.
It's over. Nobody cares anymore.
It's wild to me. It's
and then they still call the guy like Hitler because
Hitler? Call who Hitler?
Trump. This is what's going around now.
Well, my dad recently was like, that Hitler admirer. That's what he called him. Hitler admirer.
Crazy. And you know where this came from?
I don't know.
I mean, I don't think a lot of people do understand where this came from, but it's from I think one of the generals that Trump ended up firing because obviously he wasn't doing the right things or whatever. And so when you fire somebody, usually they maybe are bitter about it or upset. So they make up stories. So I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I'm not saying he did, but that's a logical thought.
No one knows how it was said besides that general and Trump, and then whoever else was around.
Right. So that's how you can't even like go by it. Yeah, right, they're going by it like it was fact.
Right. And I think that's what annoys me about politics and the news and everything is that like, don't say something to me and then put it all over every media outlet as though that's actually what went down when all you know is that it came from one fucking person's mouth. I wasn't fucking there. So I don't know the context of which that statement was made in or anything like that. All I know is that this general who was fired by this person right here is now saying that this is what happened. But to me, that's not fact.
No.
I don't know fact. I was not there. None of us were there. But yet what happens now is that it goes all over the news as though this is now fact. And I'm like, hold up. To me, that's reasonable doubt. I feel like, right? Like a trial can't happen with just reasonable doubt, correct?
Yeah.
I thought that you have to have like
some
firm, solid evidence. It can't just be, like, oh, this person told me this.
Videotape or recording. Something.
I thought it had to be something.
I mean, it can be a person that says something, but then you'd have to like
you have to follow really it up with some kind of fucking.
Like you can't just be like some reporter goes and talks to this general, and then the general says whatever crazy shit they say, and the reporter's like, "Well, that's the truth," and then just blast it out on every single fucking network. No, you have to go through a whole vetting system. All right, but did you really say this? What context was this in? What was the whole conversation about? There's a lot of vetting to go through with that. So basically, anything can be taken, and this is why Trump is such a target, because he does say things that
he's off the wall.
That like he over exaggerates a little bit, maybe more than a little bit, and then also. You know, he just says things like, he would say something like, oh, like Hitler got voted in, which he did. So there was a large popular vote that got him into play. So like Trump would be like, well, I mean, he got voted in. People like the guy. People like the guy, you know? And then everybody would be like, what? You like Trump likes Hitler? Like, no, that was the truth. That's what happened. He got voted in. He was the popular vote. everybody in Germany loved this guy at the time. They loved socialism at the time. You just have to understand history and understand the facts. And he's just saying, hey, I mean, that was a thing that happened. People liked him at the time. Not saying I like him. But he doesn't like go through that whole process. He just says
Well, he doesn't.
things,
Yeah, he just says stuff. He's just off the wall.
and then he has to like backtrack after somebody.
That's why I will say
and,
I didn't finish the Joe Rogan interview with Trump because it's like 3 hours long. But I will say that's why I really do appreciate Joe Rogan as someone who's interviewing someone, because he really, I felt like he handled Trump really well in a sense of like
reeling him in,
because again, we have Trump's age, you know, he's up there, so his brain, you know, like I get that. But also there's like, I don't know, like some like ADD and they're like, I don't know what's happening, but the guy does not here's the question. Here's what I asked. Trump does this. Okay. And it takes forever. And for anyone who's not used to talking to someone like this, a lot of things could get misconstrued and lost. I'm used to hearing people speak like this from just working in my field. So this is like, I can follow you. I'll follow you the whole way, you know? And I know what you're trying to say. Kanye's the same way. Mm-hmm. And I know what you're trying to say, so it's not a big deal. But because of that, you do have to reel him in. So I do appreciate.
Think about this. This is the problem with media, right? Because for however many years, we've been so used to, 30-second clips, 5-minute little quick interviews, whatever, because we don't have time supposedly, and it's just got to jam it into this little box, right? And we are so used to that. When in reality, that is not a normal conversation. A normal conversation about very complicated things is hours long sometimes. It's a whole dinner of hanging out and communicating and talking about whatever. Maybe a couple drinks afterwards, continuing the conversation. Like, that's real shit. Well, and that's how Trump kind of just talks on stage.
But I could say the same thing that they do for Kamala, though, too, because I feel like we could say the same thing for her, too, right?
Well, yeah,
so, like,
she all we see as well,
all we see with her as well, sometimes just little clips, So I don't really know, like if like
that's why
what was she saying before? What did she say before she got on stage? What did she say? No idea.
That's why I think it would be very beneficial to her, if she has a lot to say, to go on Joe Rogan and explain herself in the way that she deserves to be heard.
Was that mild shade that you just gave her?
No,
if she has a lot to say. I feel like that was low-key shade.
Well, if she does, that would be the place. If she doesn't, then why would you ever go on there?
Yeah, Joe definitely isn't going to let you not answer the question.
She still might go on there, I think. That's what he said in the Trump interview.
Joe said that in the Trump interview?
And then he said it after at the Fight Companion, too.
I'm going to tell you something right now. If Kamala Harris goes on Joe Rogan at that moment, I will absolutely have respect for her. Because I'd be like, okay, Kamala.
Like, okay, let's see what you got.
Kamala,
let's see what you got.
Let me hear what you have to say, and I will definitely tune in. Are you kidding me?
I'll listen to that, for sure.
Absolutely, I would.
So, maybe she'll go.
Because I do actually think, to be honest, I would be very interested to hear that, because I would be so interested to hear Joe do the same thing he did with Trump, which is, no. The question was this.
Yeah.
Answer the question. Let's get back to the question.
I know you just told me about your whole family history and how, like,
I don't care about that.
Whatever.
What's the answer to
middle
the
class?
Right.
Okay. Come back
to the question. And Joe was doing that with Trump, and I love that. And I would love for Kamala to go on there so that he could do the same thing with her, because she doesn't go like that, but she just doesn't answer things sometimes. So then I'm like, what? Wait, what? What did you even mean to say? So I would love for that to happen, so Joe can be like, okay, this is.
But that might be the reason why she never goes on there.
We don't know if she's not going to go on there.
No, you're just drinking my water.
Mm-hmm. We don't know if she's not going to go on there.
No, we don't know. I mean, there's like fucking 8 days left or something like that. So
crazy.
I don't know. I mean, she's got some time, I guess. But
if she did, that would be big. I do think so. I think that would be big.
Yeah, but it would either be the biggest thing for her. Once again,
or
if she has something
or the worst
significant to say and like in a long form content, or the worst thing.
Yeah,
because
or it could be the worst.
she may not actually have anything to say.
But I feel like with Trump, that could have went the same way.
It could have. That's why
And I still haven't finished it. So
Trump's got balls for going on there too. But everybody just assumes that Trump's got balls to do what, or not even. Everybody just assumes that Trump's going to go on this show, that show, whatever. But it is a big deal for him to sit there for 3 fucking hours.
3 hours.
And have
Talk
like
to
a normal conversation about
shooting
understanding
shit.
and answering all these questions.
Which again took him like
could be any
10,000
kind
years
of
to
question.
answer.
It could be anything.
Yeah.
Honestly, with the Joe Rogan one, I feel like he didn't get into enough. Actually,
But did you finish the whole thing?
I got about 20 minutes left, but
Oh, you're almost done. Okay.
yeah, I mean, because I see what Joe's trying to do. You know, he just wants to have a normal conversation, so
That's
he
what
allows
Joe does,
people to
yeah.
talk. But when Trump talks, he does that thing.
He does the thing. Keeps going.
And then he takes up
Goes.
all this time with some stuff, which is like, once you get through the whole thing and come back, you're like, okay, some of that context was important,
right.
but like,
But
some
Barron-
of it wasn't.
Barron being 6'9" and
Yeah.
going to this very good college.
Yeah,
Very good. It's one of the best colleges in the whole world.
yeah. You do that like freaking 15 times in an interview, you just burnt like a half hour, in 3 hours.
That's really just how he speaks.
That's just how we.
When I heard the
It's
Joe
not-
Rogan interview, I was like, oh man, that's really just who he is. Like, he doesn't even he's not trying to be anyone different. He actually just speaks like that. Like,
Yeah.
truly. It's just truly how he talks to everything. We could be talking about coffee, and the guy will be like, it's the best coffee I ever had.
This coffee
coffee right
is
here
from a very good friend of mine.
Actually,
Very
they
good friend.
actually,
I know the guy that
actually,
owns
when
the
I was
business.
there, the guy actually told me that he actually took the coffee beans, blah,
Yeah,
blah, blah.
picks them
It's
out
a
of the
great
tree
coffee. It's
by
It's the
hand.
best coffee beans in the world.
Then he goes through the whole fucking thing, and then it's interesting what he's saying.
And you're like,
but it's got
you're
nothing.
like, okay.
But it's got
okay.
like nothing.
And then
it
you're
ends
like,
up-
wait, hold on. I thought we were over here. Hold on. We have to get back.
Yeah. But he talks about that. He knows that he does it. He's just like, that's just how I talk. He calls it the weave.
Oh, he does call it the weave on the Joe Rogan podcast. If you guys listened to it and saw it, he did. So he does know he does that. That's right. He does know he does that.
I think the best interview. I mean, the Joe Rogan one's good because it's like a long form. You get to know him. But like the really best one was that Andrew Schultz one. Like,
I gotta listen to that one.
It's just like
Andrew Schultz is great.
That's really Trump right there. It's like almost a
like
comedy show
raw.
almost. Yeah,
raw.
It's like having dinner with Trump, probably.
Interesting.
But yeah, I mean, I'd like to see Kamala on there. Let's do it. I don't know what she's waiting for.
I would like to see that.
Apparently, she took some days off. I mean, that's what Trump said. But
get out of here. Get out of here. Trump is always trying to.
But Trump is at Madison Square Garden tonight. Right now, actually. I don't know. But yeah, that's pretty. And there was like pictures of whole streets as far as you can see, people outside.
But even in New York?
Yeah.
So I mean, everyone's so like my dad's from New York, right? And he made a statement like he was very convinced that New York is a blue state and it's going to be blue again, so he's not worried about it. But I'm like, where are these people coming from? Are they coming from not from New York to come see him too? Maybe New Jersey?
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know any of that information, but there was a lot of people. There is a lot of people there. I mean, he's packing Madison Square Garden, and then there's probably almost the same amount of people outside. At least from what I saw.
I feel like some shit's gonna go down at Madison Square Garden in New York. Forget about it. I don't even know. They're wild out there.
I don't know what's gonna happen. We got about a little over a week left. It's gonna be interesting.
Next week. So this week, next week.
Yeah, I think it's like next.
It's next Tuesday. Next Tuesday, voting. Next Tuesday is the day to vote. Yeah. I just found out that I was registered in Rhode Island. That was so cool. I didn't even know. I just went on and was like, "Damn!"
How did you already get registered?
I must have done it when we first moved here, and I had to go to the DMV. And when you're at the DMV, I could have sworn she was like, "Do you want to be a registered voter?" And I think I was like, "Yeah, sure." But I forgot until just recently, and then I felt really, I don't know, I felt cool. I was like, "Oh yeah, I can vote."
All right, so you got 4 minutes if you wanted to talk about the Menendez brothers.
I actually really do want to talk about this. Joe thinks that this is actually really ridiculous, but honestly,
I don't think it's ridiculous. I'm just like, okay, I mean, this is something that's been going on for fucking 20 years.
It has, but I don't think people really, like, this is actually really wild. Lyle and Eric Menendez, are in prison because they killed and shot, they shot both their parents, right? Jose and Kitty Menendez back in 1983. But what's wild to me about this case, as I'm like reading it, like very carefully, step by step. So I didn't know, or maybe I did, but just like forgot about it because I saw the movie, but you never know what's real, what's not. That the boys, had said that they didn't do it, right? They were like, someone killed our parents, blah, 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 right? But then they're running around buying shit, buying cars, buying businesses, the whole nine. Not a good look, obviously, after your parents get murdered. And then I think months or so later, this woman who was married to I don't know if it was both of their psychologists or just one of their psychologists, but who was married to the psychologist for one of them, heard the audio tape footage of them saying that they killed their father. And then she took that and went to the police. Now, the reason why I'm confused here is because
this information came out when it was going
This
down.
is when it was going on, right? This is when it was going on.
When did HIPAA come around?
HIPAA should have been around in 1983. I mean, like, with insurance companies and everything. Like, yeah. I don't know why HIPAA was not. Now, this is the thing about... Now, if the... let me go back, because there's lots of pieces to this here. But, so, the wife heard the audio tape.
The wife of the
psychologist who was working with them, okay? Now, I don't know if the psychologist played it for the wife, or...
it doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't. Or the wife, I think, like, overheard one of the sessions, because I think she was, like, a secretary, or she worked in the office or some shit like that. And so I don't know if she overheard and then went into her husband, the psychologist's office, and then listened to the tapes behind his back. I don't really know how it went down, but at the end of the day,
no matter how, she wasn't.
No matter what the situation was, she wasn't supposed to have that information legally. She wasn't supposed to have that information.
It's illegal for her to.
The fact that she brought it to the cops, and they were like, "Oh, okay, bam, we're gonna go charge them with this." I'm like, but wait a minute. She wasn't supposed to have this information. It's illegal for her to even know that. How does she even know that, first of all? That breaks so many confidentiality rules. Now, if the psychologist went and told the cops, now, this is where it gets, my field is so, like, interesting, and so, like, there's so much gray area that it's like, there's legality and then there's ethics.
Yeah, like, what if he never did tell them?
There's legality and ethics. And so if I had a patient come into my office and tell me that in the past they killed someone, man, there's so many conversations around this all the time. There really is. But some therapists will tell you that they would go tell the police. Some. Others would tell you that it's not that cut and dry. Because I'm talking to you today in 2024, and you're telling me that you killed someone, let's say, a year ago. First of all, one, I don't know if this is true. I have no facts, no nothing that this is true besides this person's word. I have no idea.
It's not like you just take that and blast it all over every news channel.
We don't take it and run with it. No. Someone tells me they're going to kill themselves. I'm like, okay, let's talk about this first. I'm not like, bam, let's go Baker Act you, right?
Yeah, but if you're a CNN, you'd be like, Trump said he killed somebody a year ago.
Yeah. No, we don't react. We like respond. So this is why I will never be on a juror. So anyway, we take the information, right? And then we can go or the ethical way, which is ethically, this is my patient. My commitment is to my patient. My patient has confidentiality, and they told me that they killed someone a year ago. Again, I have no information. I have no fact. I have no nothing. It's really like ethically, I could just basically be like, keep that with me. You know what I'm saying? Like because that's my patient. or I can tell the cops. There really is like, but nothing in the law, at least in Florida. I don't know about Rhode Island because I'm not from here, but when I was trained, nothing in the law says, hey, if a patient tells you that they did kill someone, you have to tell the cops. We've had many classes, let's say when I was getting my master's degree, with conversations on this topic so many fucking times, you know, like, and so it's very interesting. So that's why I'm like, hold up, 1983, this whole thing goes on. And then you get the information that they killed their parents from their psychologist's wife. The fact that, wild to me.
Well, that's how everything got ignited.
That's how the whole thing went down.
Started off.
Because they said, now obviously
in retro, it was a year later.
No, it wasn't a year later. It was like months afterwards. Oh. But so their behaviors weren't looking good anyway. So again, you know, they're young, they're 21, they're 18, right? They do this thing and then they're out and about living their lives, spending all their parents' money. So clearly that looks suspect. The cops were probably going to fucking, you know, pick up on that anyway, which I'm sure they did. And all of that was going to go down at some point anyway. But still, that their psychologist's wife told the cops.
You know
that
what,
to me doesn't make any sense.
It was probably like a moral conundrum for the psychologist, right? And then he probably ended up having a conversation with his wife, and his wife was probably like, "No, you have to."
6 months after the crime. 6 months after the crime.
Very significant.
6 months after the crime, in March 1990, police got a tip from an unlikely source. Judeline Smith, the girlfriend, not even wife. Not
even the wife.
The girlfriend of a psychologist who Lyle and Eric Menendez have been talking to. So they both were talking to him. She told police that the brothers had confessed to the killings in therapy, and there was an audio tape recording of it. Confused. I'm confused.
And there's nothing in this article is like, that's illegal.
I'm confused. I'm confused. So then this continues. I'm even more confused.
They don't talk about that? None of it?
They stop it on here, at least on this one. Like, I don't know who else goes into it. I'm sure, I'm like, I need to now dig to see if like other therapists and like actually like dove deep into this and be like, what the hell? Anyway, then they both had trial together, but they had different jurors, which I also think is interesting.
Different juries?
Completely? Yeah.
Like a group of different
Yeah, they
people?
had two different, yeah.
Yeah, that's weird.
Then, okay, they get charged in 1990 for the murder of their parents, right? Then there was a mistrial because I guess the jury couldn't really decide whether it was going to be manslaughter or murder because the sexual abuse came out, right? So Lyle had said that he was sexually abused. It stopped at age 8. And then Eric, days before or something like that, before they murdered their parents, Eric told Lyle at 18 at the time that he was being sexually abused by the father even at that time. So his never stopped.
Well, at what time?
18, at the age of 18. So when all this went down, 1983, he was still being sexually abused.
Yeah.
Okay? As a fucking adult. Okay? So... Oh, wait, let me go back for a second and rewind because now this is bringing up even more stuff. Hold up. I'm a therapist. You're in my office. Now, again, I don't know if they told the therapist, the psychologist, that they were being sexually abused by their parents. But legally, this is now legality, not ethic. If a patient comes to me, fuck, they were 18 and 21. Fuck.
They're not minors.
They're not minors. God damn it. Okay. Oh man, that one would get me as a therapist though. That's a tough one. Oh, and you wouldn't be able to do anything. Oh God, that sucks. All right. Anyways, yeah. So it says, hey, look, I have been sexually abused this whole entire time. So then Lyle confronts his parents and puts it all on blast and is like, you've been doing this, the whole, whatever they argue about, okay? So then apparently the boys, I guess like days in the house or whatever weeks, like it was like really like there was lots of tension obviously after that. Because now like everybody in the house knows and is openly before they got murdered. So now, and mom was involved too. So mom, dad, Lyle and Eric now openly have had these arguments about how you are still sexually abusing my brother and you abused me until age 8. Fuck you, right? So then I guess because of all the weirdness that I'm sure was going on in the house during that time, Lyle and Eric felt or believed that their parents were trying to actually kill them because the dad was a huge, music producer or mogul, whatever, at RCA Records. Yes. And they didn't want that information to get out to the public. So that's what they believed. Then they were like, fuck it, we're going to kill them instead. And they killed them, right? So then the whole thing with the jury or with the court was that, hey, look, they did kill their parents, right? Now it's out there, but they were being severely and horrifically sexually abused all the way up until this whole fucking trial started, right? So cut to, they then then they have a mistrial. That's what I said. So they had a mistrial because nobody could, the jury couldn't decide whether it was manslaughter or first-degree murder or whatever. It was all confusing. So they had a mistrial. Prior to this mistrial, though, one of their cousins came out and actually testified on the stand saying that he never had, he doesn't have evidence that they were sexually abused, but he always found it weird because whenever Lyle and Eric were going to take a shower, the father had them take a shower with them. And Kitty, the mom, would wait outside. And whenever the cousin, the one who testified, would go and try and go see what was going on, Kitty would be like, no, you can't go there.
And then the cousin's parents wouldn't let him go over there, right? Didn't you say that?
Yeah, something like that. I don't know, but I know that that's what he testified to. Okay, so cut to the trial. Blah blah blah. They missed trial. Done. Then they have another trial, but when they have this other trial, now they have only one jury, right? Okay, and they're both being tried together, I believe, at this time. So one jury, and they leave out all of the sexual abuse, basically. So now the prosecutors, right, are now coming at it from they were lying, they wanted their parents' money.
Like basically talking about this whole movie that everybody's already seen and we already know all the answers.
But hold on. They want their parents' money, blah 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 blah, the whole entire nine, right? But again, the second trial though, when they got fucking convicted and charged with life in prison for first-degree murder, basically had none of the sexual abuse, none of the fucking family testimonials, nothing, okay, about anything. Now, this is what I want to talk about.
About time.
This is what I want to get into.
Jeez. You're going to miss yoga.
Because the whole thing is this. Oh, shit. The whole thing is this, is that do I believe that if you kill someone, you clearly need to go to jail? You need consequences. You killed someone. Yes, I believe that. Absolutely. So to me, it's not that the sexual abuse was there to get them off. The sexual abuse in my mind is just there to indicate whether this is first-degree murder or manslaughter, right? Right, exactly. But in the second trial, the prosecutors were saying that because it was clearly a planned murder, which it was, they were then saying that it's first-degree murder. And I'm like, but first of all, they were sexually abused. Yes, they planned this fucking murder. They planned the murder to kill their parents because they were being sexually abused and they thought that their parents were going to kill them. So of course it was planned, But again, that wasn't considered. The sexual abuse stuff was out of the whole entire trial, and then they get tried for that. Now, here we are today in 2024. What's his name? Ryan Murphy, right? Comes out with this Menendez show that I haven't seen. And now everyone's talking about it again, right? Kim Kardashian, who I don't know if she's a lawyer now or not, but whatever.
What's up with that last name, Menendez? It was like the football player. His last name was Menendez too, I think, right?
Yeah, but they're Menendez. Are they the Mendez or Menendez?
Oh, I don't know, but
why are we getting caught up in this?
Anyway.
It's Menendez. So anyway,
a little weave.
So then Kim Kardashian comes out. She posts everywhere, and she's like, "I think that they need to be." That they need to come out of jail, blah, 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 the whole nine.
Kim Kardashian said that. This is very important now.
Right. So now the whole world's like, oh my God, right?
However, God, she said something.
However, though, which I find so funny that it's taking all of this to happen, because back in either 2023 or 1993, I forgot which year it was, one of the singers from Menudo, which you don't know, but I know Menudo very well because I was very, very, very into Menudo. That they were a Puerto Rican boy band that we were obsessed with growing up. He finally came out years later and said that Jose Menendez,
the father,
sexually abused him and raped him.
Wow.
Because he was under RCA records. So they were always together and seeing each other.
So basically, at the end of the day, how would you, an ideal world, right, where all of this was recognized, how would you have played it out?
Like the sexual abuse was recognized, everything was recognized.
Would you give them a certain amount of jail time and then that's it, or somehow or rehab or something like that, or what would you do?
Yep. Okay. So I feel like I would first be like, okay, you have to go to prison. You shot and murdered both of your parents. There's no getting around that, right? So you have to go to prison. I don't know for how long. For like, I don't know. I'm bad with that, but I know that they have to go to prison. Okay. After prison, though, I believe that they need to be in a in treatment. Okay, because there's no treatment going on in prison. Let's be
yeah. Well,
clear.
That's the other part of it too, right? It's like, okay, you're going to send them to jail for 10, 20 years or whatever it is. There's no rehabilitation.
There's no rehabilitation.
So not only the rape all their lives, the whole jury,
crazy PTSD
bullshit, then go to jail for 10 years. You think you're ever going to be rehabilitated after that?
No, of course not. I don't think so at all. I don't think so at all. I think that these are two men at this point. And again, I have no idea if therapy has been going on in prison, but to my understanding, therapy does not go on in prison.
I mean, it's more like, I think, counseling, and it's very minimal, I would assume.
Like, I would probably expect there to be a very high turnover in terms of therapists in the prison system.
Well, also,
so I don't know how the consistency or this or that, or
if you're in jail, you're not really able to execute on a lot of these newfound ways of being, even
in prison with everybody else.
You're with all these other people
kill
that are
people
not
and everything, right? I'm
trying
like
to better themselves,
right? So like here you have two grown men who've went there basically their whole entire life since they were 18 and 21 years old, who murdered their parents, admitted to that, were severely sexually abused by both fucking parents. Okay. And then scrutinized in the media too over all this. Okay. Like all this shit. And now it's like, okay, they're looking at being released is now what's coming out. Okay.
Yeah, even if they get out now, they'll probably end up killing themselves after like a year or something because like it's too much.
The world is not going to be nice. I don't know if the world's going to be nice to them or not. I know though, however, that their family that's still alive has their back.
Well, that's good.
So that's actually a good look. So my thing is this, I would definitely do jail. They would have to go to prison. They would need to be in severe trauma counseling. They would have to do EMDR. They would have to do severe trauma therapy to even remotely rehabilitate. Talk therapy would not even get close. Would not even get close.
Yeah.
I can guarantee you if they had talk therapy from 1993 when they whatever until now, they would still not be okay. Like I don't give a fuck. No way talk therapy is doing that. It's not fucking doing that. All right. They have severe CPTSD, complex PTSD.
Maybe for a situation like that in the future, maybe they'll send them to like so some of those like retreats or something, like a week long, like deep ayahuasca or like
they would have to do it all spiritual, clinical, the whole nine yards.
You have to be in it, and you got to stay in it for like extended amount of time. You got to do it multiple times with the shaman, and maybe that's like the new jail moving forward.
You know what I just feel bad for is that I would really hope that I feel bad for them either way. I really do, because Eric or Lyle, one of them, had written a letter to their cousin when they were younger, detailing the events and saying how scared they are to be at home with their dad. So, you know, all this stuff is real, and I feel very, very awful that they had to go through that. But I also feel bad for them if they get released and there's nothing put in place for them to actually have a shot.
I mean, there won't be.
Like that also bothers me as well. You know, it's like, okay, great, they're going to get released, or they may get released, but like, what, like, can someone, can we, like, is there money for them? Pro bono, therapy, I'll do it, whatever, you know, like, I mean, they need help. They can't just be out in the world just like, la, 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 la. Like, they need something to go to.
Like, these are the kind of fundamental societal things that need to changed dramatically in our society, like the way that we handle these types of situations, the way we handle just like people going to jail in general for, I mean, if it's a very cut and dry thing, and you know, you react to something, all right, yeah, and you like murdered somebody, okay, but even then, you don't murder anybody without having some sort of trauma that led up to that point.
You don't murder.
Nobody does. That's not a natural thing.
No one's born a murderer.
Right. Babies don't come out.
So
like
how that fucking
people.
works?
So maybe we're better off creating a system that focuses on that and understands that there are things that happen leading up to these points, and usually they're just a reactive thing because the person doesn't know any better or how to handle the situation, so they're just like, shut up, and then they kill somebody or something. Or, you know, there's a zillion scenarios, but all of them have a similar background, meaning
they have something going on.
Sort of
there's some story. There's something going on.
Yeah,
even in like
they're all different stories.
Yeah,
but they're all a story
under the same umbrella of something happening in their life, in their environment, in some way, shape, or form. You know,
people don't just do that. So,
no. So
if we all just understood that as a society and actually like gave these people compassion for the life that they've had to endure up until that moment. And I'm not saying it's like good that they killed somebody else.
No, of course
for sure.
Not.
I mean, obviously, I don't know. I think there's just different ways to handle these.
There's different ways to go about it. Obviously, we know that people
someone in jail.
unfortunately are abused on a daily basis, but it doesn't give you the right to kill someone for doing that.
You
know
what
that.
You know what it is like throwing somebody in jail and everybody getting around be like, fuck those guys, and putting it on the media or whatever. That's easy. People don't have to think very much.
I know.
You know, everything that you've been going through for the past like 15 minutes about this whole thing is too much for other people to consume because it's not their lives. They're dealing with their own shit. They also may have the same trauma and may be about to murder somebody, right? So they're not thinking about this person giving them compassion. They're like, I'm fucked.
It upsets me so bad. It really does. This is why I do what I do. That shit fucking pisses me off, man. It really does. It gets me. It like can bring me to tears.
Yeah, it's sad.
That's how much it really gets me.
I wish more people would understand this, but you know, it is. Maybe we'll get there. I think we're moving in that direction. But you know, as long as we keep watching all these movies that just like are reactive murder movies where you're just killing people frivolously and video games and shit like that, then that's our culture. You know?
Right. Then everyone's just thinking, oh, okay, that's what it's like. It's like, no, man, like it's not. I've worked with so many people who are in gangs, and they have no one ever like admitted anything, you know, in any of the sessions, but like it's interesting in therapy because you can say something, but say it like it's a story that happened to someone else, you know? And that's kind of how I think you kind of like weave around it, you know? So anyway, yeah, but I've heard a lot of stuff like that. And I gotta tell you, with all the people who I heard that from, every single one of them had a very horrific life and a very tragic life. And I sat in that room and eyes teared up right with them, you know? So it's, I don't know. I think it takes obviously a certain person to do what I do, but this is why I like what I do.
Yeah, well, hopefully things shift. I mean, it'd be nice to see that shift in our lifetime. I kind of actually feel that it's already, like I said, kind of moving in that direction slowly. Like with all the psychedelic stuff that's happening right now, of what we're doing, the ketamine therapy, you know.
I have to get to yoga.
Yeah, you're not gonna. I mean, what time is this?
I mean, I'm gonna be late, but I paid for it, so.
All right, we gotta go. Yeah.
So sorry, I hate to end like this, but I could stay here forever and talk about this shit because it really grinds my gears, really. And
we kind of finally got into it, you know. I mean, you didn't have to tell the whole Menendez story. I mean, I think everybody knows, but then...
I don't think everybody does know. Just like everybody did not know, Joe, that the stars were suns. Okay.
Well,
okay.
Everybody.
Okay. We can't assume.
All right.
All right, everyone. Have a great week coming up. We'll see you next week.
yeah, we're going to be next Sunday, a couple days before the election. So, we'll maybe have something to say. Maybe something will happen this week, and we'll have lots to talk about then.
Maybe Kamala will be on Rogan. I don't know.
Maybe Kamala will be on Rogan. Let's hope so.
If Max Holloway hears this, I love you.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry that you
I
got
told
KO'd.
Aaliyah that we couldn't talk about UFC. There was a huge fight.
You're going to come back blessed. You're going to come back and you're going to be amazing.
Okay.
And you're great.
All right. See you guys later.
Bye.